While Americans may go on vacation at the end of July, the start of August, the world does not. In fact, the world has a lot of hot spots that are emerging, and you probably don't hear about them as much. We brought Major Adam Kraft, a retired West Point graduate, former strategist for the Defense Intelligence Agency, and a great friend of the Economic War Room, back into the War Room to tell us about some recent incidents that have happened in the Persian Gulf and in the Straits of Hormuz. Welcome, Adam.
Thanks for having me back. Well, we had a lot of fireworks. I know we had some late night conversations on the phone, and what we have here on the map is actually our reaction to some of the drones loitering around our task force that's in the Strait of Hormuz.
Well, start with the incident and what's caused the raising of tensions.
Well, just before this, we had at least one we know of British tanker, possibly two, that were taken right in front of Allied warships and then moved off to their side of the line. We believe one of the tankers now is likely closer to Bandar Abbas, which has huge Iranian naval facilities, and right around that area are islands that are ringed with all kinds of defenses that always threaten our shipping, not just for the Allies, but the entire planet. Within this chain of islands, you have many, many naval hazards that are always lurking about, and at night, when you turn the lights off, and sometimes you turn off other navigational aids, which we really can't get into, but the place becomes a bumper car of death for ships.
Well, show us. What are we looking at?
Well, if we're looking at the incident here where our Navy splashed down or captured an Iranian drone using electronic countermeasures or electronic weaponry, right here, if you look at where the ship is, that's the blue one there, and the enemy drone, which is about 24.6 kilometers off right. Now, if you notice the entire width of what you're working with in the strait here at a narrow point, you're looking at from friendly area to islands that the Iranians control that are ringed with defenses, and IRGC Marines are on there. That's about 50 to 55 kilometers.
This is a choke point.
It's classic choke point. It's perfect. This is something, and I'll speak on behalf of my Annapolis brethren, this is something that they study for the 4 years that they're there.
Okay, and you showed us some other...
Right, so the reason why this is important for the world economy is, on this next slide, you look, it's 30 to 40% of any petroleum product, oil and gas, that's seaborne daily goes through this strategic choke point.
And this is the choke point in the circle.
Right there. And this actually was on 22 July when we had the flash request from several groups that work with us in industries. We did a screenshot of some satellite feeds that we
and these are all, what are all these dots?
Those are all different types of merchant ships, fishing ship, not any warships on here. We don't do that. But just with that traffic alone, you could see on this, within 5-minute updates, this is how chock full of maritime traffic.
How heavily trafficked this area is.
Right.
This is a significance of the world economy. If you've got 34% of the seaborne oil passing through this area, this is where a potential war could break out, and it's something we got to keep our eye on. What do we do about it?
Right. Well, President Trump's stance is perfect. It's spot on, because you have to be tough. We've lived too long under this basically a bully who's sitting there in this sea lane and can just, with a flick of a fingernail, do something to a tanker.
So what did
LPG tanker. So we took out some of their eyes that were clearly violating the space there, and we just took them out.
Are we positioned to address this if it flares up?
I can't discuss details on that, but...
It's certainly been studied. That's what I want to know. The
president's stance since the day he came in, and now we have a brand new Secretary of Defense, Mark Espers, wears the same ring I do. one plug for Army football there. The way he looks at it, it's a readiness issue. And so they've had the better part of 2 years to get ready, and I think they've done a very good job.
You have confidence in the people that are getting ready.
They have a they've done a very good job. The things we're seeing through the press with what's happening with troops going in at the request of the Crown Prince in Saudi Arabia, some of the British forces that you see in the media that are already in the other allied states within the Gulf region, that was very quick. If you saw when we discussed how rapid that took place, the reaction time was within 12 hours.
So bottom
So
line
they were
this
getting
is a
ready.
big threat. We've got a president that's willing and ready to respond. He's shown his strength already, and this is important to the American people and the global economy.
Yes, yes, it is. Now, these are some of the hazards we have to look out for. But imagine you're a tanker captain without Allied shipping to protect you, Allied warships. I mean, this is what you do daily. This is the change now. We have the lifeguards in place, and we can start looking out and trying to defend against these, and then hopefully clear some of this up, because some of this wanders into the actual sea lane.
Yeah. So, important update. Thank you so much, Major Kraft.
Thank you for having me back.